Welcome to the Network Encyclopedia. In the world of cybersecurity, sometimes the biggest threats come from the simplest places. Today, we're going to dive deep and analyze a foundational and, let's be honest, now infamous protocol that proves this point perfectly, the Password Authentication Protocol, or PAP.
So what is PAP? At its core, it's a really basic authentication method that's part of the point-to-point protocol, or PPP suite. Its job is straightforward: validate who you are with a simple two-way handshake. But in any modern, secure environment, its status is firmly deprecated. And here's the key thing to grasp. Its greatest original strength, its simplicity, is exactly what became its biggest weakness.
To really get PAP, you have to rewind the clock. It was developed back in the late 1980s and later formalized in RFC 1334 for a very different kind of internet. The main goal was just getting connections up and running over serial links. Think old-school telephone lines. Back then, the priority was simply making sure systems could talk to each other. Ironclad security? Well, that wasn't the number one concern it is today.
All right, that brings us to the heart of our analysis, the critical flaw. Let's break down exactly how PAP works and, more importantly, where its design goes so wrong from a modern security standpoint.
The process itself is a clean, three-step sequence. First up is initiation. The client sends its credentials, just a username and password, in an authentication request. Then comes verification. The server gets that request and checks the credentials against its local database. And finally, you have resolution. The server's response is simple: yes or no. If the credentials match, it sends back an auth-ACK to let the client in. If they don't, it's an auth-NACK to deny the connection. It's just a simple binary gate.
Now, if we look closer at the packet itself, you'll see it's incredibly simple. You've got a small header that says what type of packet it is, an identifier, and the length. The rest of it is the data payload, and this is where the username and password actually live. There are only 3 packet types in this whole exchange: the initial authentication request from the client, a successful authentication ACK from the server, or a failed authentication NACK.
And this, right here, is the critical failure. That username and password sitting in the data payload, they are sent completely unencrypted, in plain, clear text. This means literally anyone with access to the network traffic can just read the credentials as they fly by. For any half-decent network admin, sniffing these packets is, for all practical purposes, trivial.
This one massive vulnerability opens the door to several classic attacks. Eavesdropping is the most obvious one. An attacker just listens in on the traffic and grabs the credentials. No sweat. Then you've got replay attacks. See, because PAP doesn't use any dynamic challenges, an attacker can capture that valid login and just replay it later to get access. And of course, it's highly vulnerable to man-in-the-middle attacks, where someone can intercept and even manipulate the whole handshake.
Naturally, once everyone understood these flaws, it kicked off a real evolution in authentication. So let's take a look at how modern protocols were specifically designed to fix the problems that PAP created.
This brings us to PAP's direct successor, CHAP. That's the Challenge Handshake Authentication Protocol. The difference is night and day. While PAP sends the actual password, CHAP does something much smarter. The server sends a random challenge string. The client then uses its password to create a unique hash of that challenge, and it sends only the hash back to the server. The key takeaway is this: with CHAP, the actual password never ever travels over the network.
But the evolution didn't stop there. Today's modern standard is EAP, the Extensible Authentication Protocol. Now, EAP isn't really a single protocol, it's more of a flexible framework. It's built for complex setups like enterprise Wi-Fi and VPNs, and it supports a whole arsenal of strong methods. We're talking tokens, smart cards, certificates, you name it. Its main advantage is providing robust, mutual authentication.
So when you lay them all out, a very clear hierarchy emerges. PAP is right there at the bottom: low security, low complexity, which means it's really only for legacy systems or maybe some debugging. CHAP is that solid middle ground, a good standard with a nice balance. And then at the very top, you have EAP, offering high-end security for those complex, demanding enterprise networks.
So, with all these better options out there, what's PAP's legacy? Does it even have a place in the modern world? And what does its story tell us about where authentication is headed?
It's the obvious question, right? With such glaring flaws, why does PAP still exist at all? Well, the answer really comes down to a couple of things. First, it has near-universal compatibility with ancient hardware that was built long before modern encryption. And second, it has an extremely low computational overhead. That's why you might still find it in very specific, isolated places, like a closed lab environment where physical security is already a given.
This gives us a pretty clear set of modern rules for when and when not to use PAP. The rule to stop is simple. Never, ever use it on a public network, an internet-facing connection, or anywhere with sensitive data. The only time to even think about proceeding is for very specific debugging tasks or for getting that ancient hardware to work. And even then, it has to be layered under some other encryption or beyond a completely physically isolated network.
So, to sum it all up, PAP's architecture really comes down to 3 words. It's simple, super easy to implement, and everyone understands it. It's insecure, a product of a much more trusting time in networking, and it's been superseded, definitively replaced by protocols like CHAP and EAP that actually protect our data.
And looking to the horizon, the future is really dominated by this concept of a zero-trust architecture. In this kind of model, static passwords, and by extension, old protocols like PAP that depend on them, are becoming truly obsolete. The new standard is multi-factor authentication, or MFA, and biometrics. The future of access control is encrypted, it's dynamic, and it's based on verifying who you are, not just what you know.
And that really leaves us with a final thought that perfectly captures the entire lesson from PAP's long history. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, but security is the ultimate necessity. Thanks for watching, and check out the full article linked in the description. See you in the next video.